Good morning, all. Don't know what's going on there. Good morning, all. I am Dr. Annette Feravich. Thank you for joining me here in the classroom. I need to go take a look at that. Yeah, and I wonder where'd those ice cubes come from? I don't have any ice cubes. He's sure not shaped like that. If I did. Yeah. I'll be right back, though. I got a fix going on here. What are we talking about today? Let's think about it. All right. So let's think about what we were talking about yesterday. I'm going to go and put that up there for you. And that was from yesterday. I haven't put up the 75. It's the same thing now, but actually I really should do that so you're not looking at day 74 and looking at the wrong day. Hold on. Okay. So I didn't fix my hair. I was putting that up. Hold on, I'll be right back. Yeah, so mysteriously I have ice cubes in my ice cube tray. Lots of mysterious things going on. Yesterday, very mysterious yesterday. I wasn't surprised to see you, Christy and Keith. I wasn't surprised to see you at all. I was happy to see you, Gary, there. Or Randy, or Stuart, or whatever your name is. So, but I always give you compliments. Cottage Inn, and whoever made the pizza last night was not doing their job like they should have been at all. I don't know what all that crap was on the end. It was, yeah, just way too much. Trying to get a point across? You're a little too loud on your pizza. You're a little too loud on your pizza getting your point across. So we are, I have to be honest. As in Tuesday, I was like, okay, there's so much blending that I'm doing between the Bookless classroom and discovery. So the last time that we met, there was quite a discovery, and the discovery was the hypothesis. So we really did come across that. So there was a big light bulb moment yesterday, and applause, and, the birds were chirping, and the animals were coming around like Snow White. And the 7 drawers were captured and never to be miserable little men again. Where'd that come from? I don't even know. No, it came from the way that we are running things here. So critical thinkers, this class is for mainly high school students. We kind of keep it a little shorter and a little bit more, we remind ourselves that, I got to go look at my network because my connection looks really bad. So we keep reminding ourselves that, what? To remind ourselves, oh, here it is. Exactly that. To remind ourselves. We keep reminding ourselves to remind ourselves, literally, that is what we're talking about. Reminding ourselves to bring back a wandering mind. This is high school, folks. Well, that certainly didn't snap to it, and I haven't got my no data, this stream will end shortly business. So I have to stop here. Yeah, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to keep recording is what I'm going to do. This gives me just a little bit more ease because I got kicked off. Again, second time today I got kicked off. But that's okay because you know why? Because the powers that be are just, their feathers are ruffled is what they are. Their feathers are ruffled. I can't get kicked back on because I don't have a backup broadcast. So I won't get kicked back on. So, all of these things are kind of, you saw the light bulb moment yesterday, right? With the hypothesis moment, right? So, between historically what we've been talking about in the Bookless classroom, which is the great experiment here in the United States, no greater, better way to study the great experiment than coming through. I'm going to look at the time here to see if I want to go back live again, but I'm not going to because of the time. Then coming through a single point and having medical doctors, not scientists. If you want to know who these medical doctors are as far as their character goes, take a look at some of the Ken Burns Civil War and see what they did as medical doctors over there during the Civil War. And it will give you some idea of the I'm trying to get it dark. And I'm trying to get it really dirty and mean without making it sound so mean. And I've used the word sinister 1,000 times and nefarious 1,000 times, so I should get a synonym antonym book, and which I have, of course. Hello, I'm a teacher, and look up a better word. But I'm gonna get it myself. Manipulative. That's not a bad one. But there are better. Narcissistic is overused for sure, you know. Okay, let's get the wheels a turning over here. So, coming through a single point. I think that was alive, actually. Kids, early birds, was that living or non-living? I think it was in its dying process, is what I think it was. So, medical doctors and all the people are coming through a single point, and this is Ellis Island, right? Okay. And they are literally, as part of psychology, it seems to me that the medical doctors didn't want to get their hands dirty, but they wanted the information. So they branched off, because to become a lawyer, Abraham Lincoln became a lawyer. All of our forefathers became lawyers. They studied law. It's interesting, though. You're studying law at a time when what? Laws were being made? How are you a lawyer? You certainly don't have to memorize cases. That lawyer doesn't have to memorize cases. I don't know, unless you're going to England. Are you using England's law? How does that really work, right? So, medical doctors, what did they do to become medical doctors? I'm beginning to think is what they did was they joined the guys club and MD. I'm just looking at all of the language that we're using, like weapons, which is weep on. Weep on. Edward Snowden. Really? That's so funny. Ed, are you snowed in Russia? That's so effing funny. This isn't funny anymore. It's just not funny anymore. Your great experiment hasn't been funny to me for a short time. Your great experiment hasn't been funny to a lot of people for a very, very long time. And so how much of history is untrue? I mean, yeah, all these coincidences where, you know, the guys, both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, both die on Independence Day within hours of one another with the very famous quote. It makes me weep on and on. This is what high school students, because this is for you. This is really what I'm talking about. It's really what I'm talking about. That there is a great experiment going on and has been going on, and I don't know the depths of which. I mean, why are you so mad at Biden? Because he called it quits on the experiment? When I said the game is over, he said COVID is done. He called it quits on the experiment, or part of the experiment. Well, what are you so mad at him for? That's a great question, Annette. I'm going to ask a Quaker. What do you... I don't know that Quakers are mad at him. I just know Quakers tell the truth. Guess I got to ask a couple Quakers a couple questions, don't I? From Wayne State, Laura Woodward. How much of this is all a scam? how much of this is all Hollywood? Is there anybody out there driving around that's not Hollywood? Is it just Milford, Kate, that's Hollywood? I mean, because you knew it. You tried to draw my attention to it. I just was like, meh, Hollywood and Milford. Yeah, Hollywood and Milford. So the great experiment then, it doesn't, yeah, no, I was going to say, it starts with, and I was going to say, it doesn't start with, but no, it does start with medicine, right? And so we've got this Eastern philosophy that is bubbling up here in the United States, right? So absolutely, the medical doctors here have checked that out. Without a doubt, the medical doctors have checked that out. And they called themselves medical doctors and not scientists, hopefully, because, or they call themselves scientists, but you know exactly what they're looking for to pad their pockets. That's that. Follow the money. Follow the money. So, there's an experiment going on here, and what we say the hypothesis was, remember, and I said this later on in the spiritual classroom, I don't think I said it here. Hypotheses are statements, they're not questions, all right? Now, I put this as a question in particular because I know that people are cutting up my video and, you know, whatever, going to use it in some court of law as evidence. You know, to demonstrate your superiority, you might want to demonstrate your superiority. I'll let it sink in for a minute. To demonstrate, and then I'm going to repeat it. I am, because I just want to, because I liked it. I want a t-shirt. To demonstrate your superiority, you might want to demonstrate your superiority. Because otherwise it's just lip service, right? And it's just hypocrisy. And, you know, if you want to know what's going on next, you don't look to me. You look to where I'm looking. You look to where I'm looking. I don't know, but I'm just thinking about that Scott Stapp, because I know that's where I'm looking right now. Because he really did get some of that thought, this thought that I have right now rolling in my head. And now I'm not going to exactly remember because I'm thinking about other things, what he said that got, other than, you know, the beating that he took. But there were other things that he said that just, you know, I always listen to him. Creed. I listen to Creed. You know, there's such a blending right now that we haven't seen before, that I have never experienced before. I don't know if other people have experienced, and I'm sure they have, on different dimensions, you know, the spiritual world coming together with the physical world. And then you begin to wonder, right? Then I begin to wonder, am I the last one here in the physical world? Which I've had an idea about, a fear of, but not a great fear of. And ideas well, for this topic, I'm brown. So that keeps coming into play, right? But I haven't experienced to a great degree the discrimination that many brown people experience, because I'm light brown, right? And I could pass off for white. But I couldn't in the community I grew up in. The community I grew up in was Fremont, so Fremont, Michigan, and which I've talked a lot about. And that's where I'm saying that they've done for our critical thinking. I'm saying they've done twin studies there in Fremont, Michigan, and I am saying that environmental components to that have been food supplied through Gerber and through Vogel's, one way or the other, or both. So there's a very strong environmental component that is controlled for in the food over there in Fremont. And now let's take a look at controlled environments for Flint, Michigan, for example, right? So this is what we've got going on. We've got amateur researchers pretending that they know science in order to get science to turn out the way that they want it to turn out. And of course, this is funded by big corporations. And so what do they say, right? So independent studies that they're having done on the water doesn't hurt you, Flint, as they put the dirty water in front of the board there, right? Put the dirty and said, go ahead, drink it then if it doesn't hurt you. And they wouldn't drink it. And they wouldn't drink that water. Now, does it hurt you? There's probably a grain of truth to that it doesn't. Because what they did, it seems to me, was put salt in the water, which oxidizes the pipes. And mine are oxidizing. So that's what I'm pretty sure they've been doing, because it gives it this black look, which we have all over here. And I don't think that they ended up doing this to every house. I think it's right here. And as you can see, all the people, and as I've been saying, all the people are gone. You can't see there. You can't see it. But all the people are gone from the houses here. So they have nothing to do with the water. And I'm using the water. I'm still using the water to bathe, whatever, right? And you're all wondering in your experiment, why hasn't the environment kicked this loudmouth out? Aren't you? Watch my spiritual classroom and you'll know. So I knew I was going to move on, and I probably wrote something down here that I was supposed to do and I didn't do. But for this classroom now, for critical thinking, oh, I did. Terms. That's what we were supposed to do today, terms. What up? Now what we're going to do is we are going to do control as part of, you guys are getting the scientific method. That's what we're calling this. We're changing it. We're doing this like we're getting messages from God. And now what we're going to do is focus on control. So I'll give you an introduction and we're going to call it a day today, right? Because this has been a mess. I got kicked off. I'm recording. And most of this I should at least edit and squeeze down into about 5 minutes of really good information. But guess what I'm not going to do? Squeeze this down into 5 minutes of really good information, because you might miss a really good expression. Or a joke. Or a joke, like the good expression one. So there's like a double whammy on that. Get it? Okay, so in science, we want to control for any factors. Oh, you sons of bitches, you are fucking with our water is what you're doing. You SOBs, you're fucking with our water is what you're doing. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. Do you see how it comes? And sometimes it comes like Annette, speak louder. Bam, like an arrow, like a lightning bolt. Sometimes it comes. You're fucking with our fresh water is what you're doing. And you already looked in Fremont at the effects of food on people, and you got their weight to shoot up so that you can then make a pharmaceutical to do something about. You fucked with their sugar levels, and then what'd you do? You come in with pharmaceuticals for that. You fucked with our weight, and then what'd you do? You came up with a pharmaceutical for that, and now you're about ready to fuck with our water, aren't you? And you're putting what? Parasites in our water? Bacteria in our water? Right now our water looks so bad because of salt, I believe. In order for them to oxidize my pipes and get me the F out of here is what they want to do, right? Excuse me. If I close up that hole in the pipe, it's gonna force the oxidation into the pipes back there is what it's gonna do. And so I wondered why I didn't have leakage through my wall. It was so convenient that the leakage was in the opening in my ceiling in the basement. That was so convenient, right? Although the hole, suspiciously so, was not where there was oxidation. There was no oxidation where the hole was. There was a hole. If I seal up that whole thing there, what's going to end up happening is oxidation is going to occur back into the walls. I don't know why it occurred there. They did something so it occurred in the opening there. The hole, it would have been my responsibility. I would have patched up that hole, and it's going to force the oxidation back into the walls, and the insurance company is going to shrug their shoulders. Thanks, Farm Bureau. So I told you that this organized crime goes to from the insurance company, it's the real estate companies, and it's the contractors here. That's on the small microcosm is what's going on here. In order for them to get me out of the way so that they can continue with their scientific experiment to demonstrate there is no God. Holy smokes, guys. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid it might work for you. What are we going to do? That's to the guy in the truck who said, whatever it was, afraid. Like, I'm so afraid, whatever that was. That's to you. I'm so afraid. And guess what? You should be. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. I'm getting messages. Oh, she sounds like Marianne Williamson. Hey, give her a chance and talk to her. She's got a friend in the dingbat land. She's got a soldier over here in La La Land. This is Dr. Annette Feravich reporting from La La Land. I'm the teacher, and I'll teach you how to get there in the classroom. Didn't you love that? That was so good. We better end with with our little intro then too. Thanks for joining me.